Alright, it's the Detail Did It podcast. Make sure y'all tune in tonight. We're going to be covering power couples and what it takes to be that dynamic thing in your life. So, tune in because I got some special guests with me tonight. Shalane Dwight Peterson, all the way from Bernie. Philly representing me in the building tonight. It's going to be hot, fire. Fuck with me.
You're now tuned into the Detail Did It podcast. Come catch a fade, girl.
God damn, boy, what's that? Some kind of weave or something?
Good evening, it's your boy Detail Did It with the Detail Did It podcast, and I got my lovely host with me.
I'm Lizzie. Liz with the biz.
Liz with the biz, and this is episode 21. We are broadcasting live from South Crown Barbershop in the downtown area. Yeah, give it up for that. And we're right here in the Southtown area, and it's the upcoming part of the city that's got a lot of things going on as far as growth, and we are definitely part of that growth. And tonight, it's Friday. No, it's Thursday. My bad. We used to shooting on Fridays. It's Thursday, the what? The 2nd?
Yeah.
I think it's one of my cousin's birthday too. I can't. Anyway, so tonight, man, we got a really awesome show for you, man. How you feeling today, Lizzie?
I'm good. Sorry, I'm still getting it together. Sorry.
Get it together,
I'm
man.
we're
extra on time today.
I
with
know.
the
I got it. I'm good.
All right, cool. So
How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I actually had a really awesome day. No stress before the podcast, and then the subject matter and the people that we got coming on tonight. You know, I'm easy going. I'm feeling really present right now, and I'm ready to get the show started, man. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and start with our mission statement, because this is the Detail Did It podcast, and you are what you eat. So we're serving food for thought to feed your spirit. Our podcast mission is, our goal for this platform is to awaken at least 100,000 people to their true selves in the effort to evolve the masses and push the culture forward through analytical thinking and realizing the self-worth. We will provide the tools for our listeners to gain control of their minds by waking up and living a well-rounded, balanced life through self-awareness and social consciousness collectively. And that's our goal, man. We're trying to reach as many people as possible to wake them up so we can get where we need to be going. And again, so yeah, that's the beginning still.
Yeah.
How you feel about that?
It's dope.
All right, well shit. Well, y'all know where we at. We gotta wake them up. They say stay woke, but I mean, to me, it's becoming cliche, and it's like I'm like, fuck that. We gotta keep them, put it in their face, keep them because the rhetoric in the country, there's all this shit going on. I think it would be less of it if more of us would wake up, and I think it takes people to come together, wise people, such as like power couples, but that's what our subject matter is for tonight, power couples. And I think if the more powerful the couples, the stronger the village. So, I mean, hope y'all got that.
Yes.
All right, let's start off real quick and get some quick shout outs. First, I want to shout out to my lovely wife. Yesterday was our anniversary, so shout out to you, Melinda. It's been 8 wonderful years and 13. Should have known we went that. But it's been 13 wonderful years. The struggle is real, but it's like candy. It's hard, but it's sweet. And just taking a moment to acknowledge her, and you just being great, and you're part of the reason I'm sitting here right now saying what I'm saying. So, shout out to marriages, shout out to that good stuff, and I love you. Moving along, and also want to give shout outs to our people that showed up for the last show. Dr. Courtney Kinney, thank you so much for coming on. That was really dope. My cousin Torres came on. He was a nurse. He gave a really good perspective. We talked about drug abuse, and I got a couple of text messages that they hit me up and said, "Man, that was a powerful message." So
Yeah, it was a good show.
that was a really good show.
It
It was long as shit.
Yeah.
It got long. It got really long,
It was
but it was really good. And who else do we need to give a shout out to? Oh yeah, I want to give a shout out to Yasmin and Calvin too, and they have their own podcast. So shout out to you guys. What else we got going on? I always want to do that.
Comes back.
Comes all back. Word of the day. Oh yeah. So on the platform, we like to do education. So we like to do word of the day, and today's word is happenstance, just like it sounds. Happen and stance. So it's a noun. Happenstance pronoun means it's basically means coincidence. So you want to give anybody want to give use it in a sentence? No?
Marriage is not a happenstance.
Okay. Wow. Marriage is not a happenstance. It's not a coincidence. If it is, you know you ain't gonna last long. Awesome. Oh, that was dope. That was
That's a good
perfect.
one, yeah.
All right. So anyway, let's get to the chair talk. Home is where the heart is. Okay. King James. LeBron James. Dog. LeBron James is the truth. Like, all right, let me just read this real quick. On Monday, James New I Promise School in Akron, Ohio, opened a public school, a non-charter school that will have enrollment of 243rd and 4th grade students in his inaugural school year. James was on hand and spoke publicly for the first time since his departure for LA, but on Monday he reminded everyone that he'll always be Akron's son and explained why this is so important to him and his community. LeBron James. This is okay. Can you Google how much that boy worth?
Yes.
Listen, this boy opens up a school. He's doing free tuition, free uniforms, free transportation within 2 miles, free breakfast, lunch, and snacks.
He's worth about $440 million.
So you don't have to do none of this. So back to what I was saying. Guaranteed college tuition for every student who graduates. Food pantry food. Oh my God, this thing says food pantry for families. So he's not only taking care of the child in every aspect and development stages of their youth and them growing up as far as their education is concerned, he's also helping the parents and the whole family unit. Like, that is so dope. He's changing generations right now. Like, he's affecting multiple generations right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's heavy. I'm not done though. He's got GED and job placement services for parents. Oh wow.
Yeah, that's dope.
Wow, I'm gonna put your school. I'm gonna put your kid in school. Get them to school. Feed them. Have some snacks.
Crazy.
And I got y'all too. Hold up, man. All right.
A holistic approach to education.
Wow. This.
LaDonna said that.
Who said that?
LaDonna.
Oh, what up, LaDonna? What's good? What's good? Thank you for chiming in, man. That's really real. I think he's setting a dope trend that can really change the face of this country because it starts with our youth. It starts with our children. And I think if people like LeBron are taking their platforms, because he has this huge platform, he could do anything with this platform. He can go on TV and be like, say shit like, slavery was a choice. He can do anything. But he chooses to use his platform. He remembers where he came from. These kids that he's mentoring and changing their lives and their whole family's lives, he was once one of those kids.
Yeah.
So now he's rose to a situation where he can really give back, and not just cause when they say he's the king, I really think he's the king because he's doing king shit.
Yeah.
Jordan was the best ball player to me, but LeBron is really affecting the country. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. I'm not a big basketball or sports fan. I'm really a big advocate and fan of what he does off the court. Mm-hmm. And things like that, like what we're doing with this platform, taking our platform and doing what we can with it, and which goes to what we always say: everyone can do something. If you're a trillionaire, hey, you can maybe do what LeBron's doing. But if you're just a barber or I don't know, a plumber, you can preach on your platform. And I think LeBron is really taking the ball to another level. He's doing like an Obama thing.
Yeah.
Like he's got the baton and he's showing us like, all right, listen, you can get here and do something. LeBron's like, all right, you can get here and do something. And I just hope that this sets an example and more people get on it because he's speaking up for the Kaepernicks, for all those guys that are being chastised in the news based off, bigotry and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
I seen a meme that said LeBron is doing what churches should have did with tithes.
Ooh, say that one more again.
LeBron is doing what churches should have did with the tithes.
Listen. Oh wow.
That's deep.
That's heavy.
That's deep.
And I mean, and that's that's another that's a whole other subject because it's like you want to be like, where are the churches at right now? Mm-hmm. Especially those churches that were standing next to Trump when he was out here running for president. Where them guys at? But that's another subject. We're gonna stay positive right now and let's give a warm applause for LeBron, man, for setting that example. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do, man. Shout out to LeBron, man. Yes.
So that's important. That's dope.
All right, well, man, listen. My boots, I'm shaking in my boots over here. People over there to the side. I want them next to me. I'm excited. I don't want to waste no more time, but I mean, this tonight's show we're gonna be capitalizing on, what a power couple is, and everyone might have their own example of what they think, what their thought is of what the definition of a power couple is. And I know a lot of powerful power couples out there. I see them every day. I talk to them every day because, you're a product of their environment. I believe me and my wife are a power couple, so we are like-minded and we attract people as such. But this couple that I'm about to introduce to you all, I personally saw their struggles. I personally was like there doing real things, seeing real struggles, and seeing a couple survive stuff that I just don't know if I could survive. And it didn't break them apart. If anything, it made them closer and stronger and just like more vibrant and just with a more lust for life, and just an example of what that love looked like. And with no egos, very confident in energetic love. Both have goals. Both are always laughing and smiling and always making somebody else laugh and smile. Because whenever I'm around these people, I'm laughing and smiling and having a good time or on some real shit. And they're just a great example of what a true union is to me. I want to go ahead and welcome to the show, Shalay and Dwight. Y'all come on up here. How many mics do you have? You still have the other mic. Anyway. And or that. No matter. Either way. What's up, y'all?
What's up?
What's up, man? Glad y'all came, man. Got my people in here.
Absolutely.
Oh man, so you guys are awesome, and I know this. I have a picture behind me right here when I asked Mel to marry me, and who's standing between us. What anniversary was that?
Our 15th wedding.
15th year anniversary.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay, so tell us. All right. So how long have you guys been married?
We've been married 23 years. It'll be 24 years in October.
So y'all ain't been married like 10 and together 23.
No.
Y'all been married 23.
Mm-hmm. We've been
So
married
how long have y'all been together?
28.
Yeah. Wow. So y'all together, y'all were together for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time right there. Marriages don't even last 8 years either. We just made our 8 years yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys were just together for the 8 years, and then you tied the knot, made that big step of commitment. Why so long? What was the why 8 years?
Well, actually, you know what? I don't even think it was 8 years because I think it was like 4 years between the time we met and the time we got married. And yeah, it was only 4 years.
Put it this way. When we met,
Ian was 4
we were
at
in
our
our
wedding.
teens.
Yeah,
We were still in
so
our teens.
we would probably be married 30 years if we could have gotten married at 15.
Actually, she snubbed me the first time.
Wait, what?
Oh.
She snubbed me.
Wait a second. What you mean she stubbed you, man? What
snubbed
happened?
me.
What happened? What
All right,
happened?
so this is how it went down. It was summertime.
Mike, man.
My bad.
Oh.
It was summertime, and I was supposed to be in summer school. But me and the crew, we hanging out, chilling on the block. To get to her summer school, she had to go through my block. Now at this point, this is the first time I've ever seen her in my life. So she walking through, and I'm like, "Yo, Redbone, what's up? We over there
Redbone,
chilling."
yeah, 30 years, Redbone was cool.
Hey, 30 years ago, Redbone was cool. So I'm like, "Yo, what's up? You gonna come?" She turned around, smiled, give me a little. She on her way to school type thing. I said, "All right,
Like I see you.
yeah."
Yeah.
And then I didn't see her again for a little bit. For a little bit.
For about 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then we got to high school.
And
She hit on me in gym class.
She hit on you in gym class.
She hit on me in gym
Are
class.
these facts?
it's facts.
Okay.
All right. Your
Did
boy
you
was
hit on him because you remembered?
No, I didn't. We didn't.
Yeah, we didn't
it
realize
took-
who we
We
each
didn't
other
realize
was.
that we
Oh,
already
wow.
met each
Yeah.
other or anything. It was as our relationship progressed that we realized, oh my God, are you the guy that was on a? But in gym class, like I liked him, but he was ignoring me, and the more he ignored me, the more I liked him. So the teacher told us to do some stretches, so I just did some stretches his way. You know,
Yo, stretch look.
and back in the '90s, our gym shorts was like, little. Yeah, so I was being extra, and we went running around the gym, and he said, "Do you have a boyfriend?" And I said, "Yep, I got a boyfriend." And he was like, "Not for long."
Man, this is
It's
a patient
been-
guy.
Yeah, he was.
You did 3 years and then
Put it this way. That day in the gym, I said, not for long. We was on the phone, what, that weekend?
And our first date was to a pumpkin patch.
Game over.
And then we went on a
Game
date to
over
a
on
pumpkin
pumpkin
patch.
But see, the pumpkin patch is where she got me.
Okay, look.
Because I'm a straight city kid. Straight Philadelphia, born and raised, projects to the block, concrete, nothing. She takes me out in what's called Bucks County, which is like right outside Philly. So, but it's kind of like burning. So ain't nothing but trees and hills and, you know, hand-built houses and things. And we sitting in the middle of this pumpkin patch. I ain't never been in no pumpkin patch. I look mesmerized out there. I'm like, man, it's alright. Peaceful out here. You got duck and dive. You ain't got to do nothing crazy. Yeah. So that day kind of, you know.
We've just been together forever since then.
But I tell you, we really locked it in.
We're really locked it in.
This was really locked it in. Oh, we cut school one day.
Okay.
So we was hanging out. And we decided, you know what? Let's go ahead to school. So we went in like 12. But on the way there, we stopped at a restaurant. And being in Philly, cheesesteak hoagies. So we go up in the spot, order 2 cheesesteaks, 2 whatever we got that day. I'm pulling in the old pocket. She said, I got it. And she probably,
Yeah.
I said, ooh,
Hey,
wifey.
boss lady from back.
It didn't take much. He was a cheap date. Cheap date.
I like cheesesteaks.
So let me ask you this: was it then? Was it the cheesesteak, or was it the stretching? Was when you said, "She gonna be mine. She that's me." Like I don't know when, how, whatever, but that's the one.
Gym class was that
Gym
moment.
class is that moment.
Right.
And what about you?
yeah.
The pumpkin patch.
Pumpkin patch. Okay. All right.
I mean, my intentions in gym class
Yeah.
might have been different. I might not have been planning out as far as it went, but gym class was that.
Okay. I mean, well, so I mean, God, it's so many places we can go, man. I mean, I guess my goal for tonight is there's couples out there, people that are like thinking about getting married. There's couples out there that are getting married or already married, and it's like in today's. Can you Google like what the marriage statistics are? Marriages last in this day and age, because I know it's very high as far as failing. Because I just off of people I just personally know, you know, marriages, you know, have failed, and just being married and knowing the, you know, the difficulties that you know that come with it. But I just want to try to, you know, inspire people that are trying to work it out. Like, what are some of the things that they can do to stay in the gap? Like, what's
I think it's all about how you start. I think a lot of people get married to have a wedding. They get married because they think they're supposed to. But, and I think people throw the word love around. It's very important. Like, I love him, but I really like him. And I think that's the difference. Like, you can love your cousin, but you don't really like him. Like, I really like him. Like, this is my favorite.
John cried 3 times. Yep. Make sure you can zoom in on this rock.
Oh my god, I just saw
You
it.
just now saw it?
Yes.
Like, this is like my favorite person on earth. All the time.
Yeah, that's love. So, wow.
But I think people just need to get back to getting to know each other and just like being real. Just like, I think social media has a lot of people skewed in what things are supposed to be, and when we talk about power couples, I think people think that a power couple means that there are certain things that you're supposed to have. But a power couple can be a couple working 9 to 5, paying their bills and making sure their kids are cared for. Like, a power couple is someone that when everything goes wrong, they can get together and they can talk about it. It's not about what you have or what the perception is of what you have. Like, this ring I have on, this wasn't the first ring.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, this wasn't my first ring, you know.
But I'm saying, 30
But-
years, your hand's supposed to be heavy after 30. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be, but that's so awesome because, you know, I was just gonna ask you that, like, so do you think social media basically influences with people's relationships as far as their privacy is concerned? Because I ask that because I know now in today's world, it's almost like going to a car lot when you date people because you have a social media now. So you can go on there and look up people and look, okay, and so it's like that's how you get to know people now. It's through like these images, as if, like I said, like you at a store or something, and it's not the bumping into it, it's not the running in, it's not the gym class situation.
Right.
Where you actually got to be personal, you got to be yourself, you
Personal
got to like
connection.
sell yourself and actually have some kind of human interaction and connection.
And see if
and
you
again,
really
it goes
vibe.
back to what you said. It's all about how it starts. So, what does that say about relationships that may start on the internet? I don't think they're bad. I think it's the
I don't think they're bad, but I think
Right.
that you have to still put in the work. Anybody can be anything on social media. People have a way of fooling themselves and making themselves think that they're something. Every morning, I get up and I tell myself I'm a size 6, but when I put on those size 6s, they don't come past my knees. So it's just about being real and you know, I want you to know everything about me. I want you to know the good and bad. And that way you have a chance to decide whether you want to go on this ride or you don't. I don't want to find out, like, I want him to know what my bad habits are. I want him to know I'm not going to make the bed. You know, just stuff like that. But in social media, you see one thing or you get with somebody and you do go on a date, but it's just this facade and everything is so fake and you're trying to, I couldn't imagine doing 30 years with somebody trying to be somebody else. It would be exhausting.
No, that wouldn't last. I don't think that's why relationships and marriages don't last this day and age, because of the foundation it's built on, which is a notification. You know, and you can't.
Happenstance.
Yeah, it's happenstance. Yeah, that shit is all happenstance. You know, so I think that people don't take the time out to get to really know somebody, and they judge a book by its cover, but when that's not even a correct cover. That's the cover they want you to see, and not the real cover. And it's just like I said, I understood it too ago. When I met my wife now, one of the first things I told her was, look, bro, my credit is bad, and I only work a couple days a week. Honesty. Like, that's the foundation. And I feel like what you guys are also saying is the foundation is built on honesty, truth. I want you to know whatever it is about me. And I think that speaks volumes to what a powerful couple is, because when you said it's not just the monetary stuff, like that don't make you a power couple. It's the being able to hold it together when shit get rocky, when shit gets stressed, when bills start, coming out the yin yang.
It's easy to love each other when all the bills are getting paid and everything is good. The true love.
It's easy to
is
love
when-
somebody in the beginning too. It's lovey-dovey and it's this, that, and the third. But as like I said, if it's not built on truth, when shit get tough, pressure busts pipes and the real you will come out. And then you're like, damn, who the fuck is this person? So, that's good, man. So do you think people can change after 20 years of being together?
Yeah, possibility. I think, again, social media, you start getting bored and you start getting DMs and stuff look good on the other side and you think the grass might be greener or the other way. Like sometimes some people take longer to outgrow stuff, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't know. Like, I couldn't even imagine, like, going out or, like, God forbid if something happened to him. I'm just going to be a nun. That's it. Like, because as far as I'm concerned, like, anybody else would be going backwards. Like, there's nobody that I could ever be with that's better than him. So, shut up. but I mean that, like, all around. Like, when you have somebody that you can tell anything to, like, I don't run and tell my girlfriend, like, this is who I tell everything to.
But how
This
does
is
that
who's-
happen though, Sheree? Like, and that's one of the things I like about observing our relationship. It's so organic, it's so real, it's the same no matter the time of the day. Whether I call y'all laying up in bed, whether y'all out, where we suited and booted, it's the same thing every single time I see you guys. Like, and then I see couples where you go into a restaurant and you look at a couple, you can tell they married because they ain't even looking at each other. They're on their phone. You can tell, oh, that's a new couple because they all each other's face,
So
all
excited.
kissing and kikiing and shit. But when I see you guys, I see the kikiing and shit like all the time.
Good.
Like, how do you make that like that? Like, what made that?
People ask that all the time.
Yeah,
bro.
I
man, we
think,
gotta
I think some
help this
of
younger
what, I
generation,
think
man,
some of
'cause-
it for us was age. When you're with somebody at 15 years old,
Mm-hmm.
that's all we know. Every joke we know. There's nothing that we haven't done together. So it's
So y'all haven't gotten tired of each other?
No.
Because I've seen this happen. Some couples are together when they're young,
Mm-hmm.
and then they get to a certain age and they have like they're different people now, and they're like, you know, I grew this way and you grew that way, and like I'm not a kid no more. Like, you know, it's that mentality or whatever the case may be.
There are things that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we may have had in common, and then over time, it's like, I'm not really into that no more, but if she's into it, it's just an understanding, like, I got you, you know what I mean? That developed when we were young, though. And it may have been our environment, it may have been
I
coming
think
up
you
where
guys
we
are
came up.
soulmates and y'all just got it right the first time.
But I'm gonna tell you,
That shit don't happen.
part of it for me, like the pumpkin patch is one thing, and Izzy's situation was one thing, but one that we rarely talk about that happened when we were younger also kind of locked it in, and I think after that we ended up making like a pact that we got each other.
Wow.
We were seeing each other. We weren't married yet, so I went over to her house and in Philly, like any other city, you know, blocks. If you
Yeah,
do
I
on
know.
the block, you know they going. So I walks on the block and they start
Hey, Vicky.
running their mouth a little bit. They get to talking, and I'm a little guy, so I got that little man sound like, oh.
He think he's so big.
Who y'all talking to? I don't care what block I'm on. So it turned into a thing. And one of the guys on the block actually rolled up through the crowd and was reaching like he was going to pull out. She jumped dead in front of me.
What?
She jumped in front of me. She stood in front of me like, you know what I mean? So now I'm fighting to get her out of the way, but she's fighting to stand me. And we talked about it, and I've never had that happen to anybody before. So it just built that, but that to me was more than a relationship.
That was
It didn't
one of those
define.
seal moments.
It defined more than a relationship.
Mm.
That defined the compartments of what a marriage is, like friendship.
That was the foundation.
Yeah, you know what I
Like,
mean?
I just
Nobody.
told you I do from death to do us part right now through my actions.
Exactly. So as impactful as it was then, and it didn't really, the deeper meaning didn't come till later on.
Mm.
But over the years, you just kind of, you think about those things.
So speaking of over the years and later on,
Mhm.
has there ever come a time in this whole tenure you guys have been together 30 years, however long, is that about right?
Almost 30.
Almost like he wasn't maturing to your level, or did you ever feel like she needed to just like, or was it ever, you know, was there ever moments like that, like where maybe say you were shining, you're doing something, and I don't know, maybe say like this business you just opened up, like that's taking you away from certain things, maybe, I don't know.
Well-
Has Dwight always been like, go for it, I got your back, or he
Let me tell
wasn't
you,
like,
if she'd
you
have
need to get
listened
your
to
shit
me,
together, girl, guy, I'm trying to, you know what I mean? You know where I'm coming from?
listen, if she'd have listened to me, what I say the other night, if she'd have listened to me years ago, she'd be a doctor by now. I was trying to get her in medical school back in.
Yeah.
And because it was something she said she was interested in.
Mm.
So to me, it's go for it.
He's always been a rider, but sometimes like I'll say random like stupid stuff because I just know that he's gonna agree. Anyway, like when I tell you like, oh, I'm gonna go to Pluto tomorrow. All right, what we gotta do? Let's go get the pass. What you need?
Who
You
we
need
gotta
shots.
talk to?
You need shots. You need
I
organizations to
I
go.
tell her, first chance I get, I'm going to Mars. I'm like, she talking about, I ain't going to Mars.
We ain't going to Mars.
I see when I get back.
But that speaks volumes again, because like, think if I go to the moon, you coming with me.
Right.
And he was like, when we go, you know,
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like, it wasn't a thing, well, how much is it gonna cost?
Yeah, no.
You're like,
No question.
shit, I got my bag already packed, let's go. Like, that is something, that's a strength that I see and I observe in you guys. And I try to implement that in my marriage. And I just want to
Friendship.
say that
Friendship.
I think it was you guys who, I think it was you that was like, man, you don't marry that girl.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah. Right.
That's just not.
That's not a guy.
Not one of my
that
topics.
was very,
Yeah.
that was very, you know, inspirational, and I, you know, watching you guys, that move, I'm pretty sure that helped move me in that direction. and I appreciate that because it was one of the best decisions.
Well, I think it goes to you loved Mel. You knew you were going to marry her from the beginning. It wasn't my comment. But I think maybe seeing us, sometimes we need tangible forms. And to physically see something that you can actually touch and say, oh, wait a minute, they have car payments and they have house notes and they have kids. And it's not just some fictitious thing. Like you could tangibly say, oh, I can call D or I can call Sheree. And I know that if it get rough, and Mel, no, because Mel, you are always right. Always. My sister, you are always, I love you so much. But I'm always going to check you.
Yeah.
You know that you can always, when it's Mel's birthday, what you think she might like, which I love.
Yeah.
I love that. I love when you ask me that. I love that.
To the
Buddy B's.
Yeah. We went there. That was your recommendation. I said, anytime it's for the wife, I gotta hit her. I gotta hit you there.
But like it's just real, and I think another thing that's important is, I'm not saying that married people can't have single friends, but I think that it's very important that you do surround yourself with other married people, because sometimes we take advice from people who are single who don't walk in your shoes. You're gonna have that girlfriend when you go to tell. If I go to say, hey, you know what? D did something, girl, leave him, blah 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 blah. It's a completely different situation than someone. And females, men and women, watch out for people that try to, girl, you should do this or you should leave them or da 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 da. You need something. Now, I'm not saying if it's physical, you do what you need to do. I don't believe in abuse. I don't believe in staying for kids if it's physical.
That's
None
one
of
of
those
my questions.
things. Not at all. But work on everything's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect every day. You kind of get into your groove. You learn what each other's pet peeves are, and you learn to stay away from it.
You learn that it's okay to have an altercation.
Yes. And you know what? We have when we getting heated, and we found
How
that.
many fights you have a week? 100.
Look at you, he said none.
Yeah, none. I mean, it happens once every.
I would say we have 2 a year, 2 good ones a year. But what we found,
It's not intentional.
but what we found about our fights,
Mhm.
after I get finished, because he's real calm, and that pisses me off so bad. Because it pisses, like I need you to give me that same energy back that I'm giving you. But what we found at the end, it was never about something that he did or I did. It was always about someone else.
Something involving
Something involving someone else. Either he bought somebody something, or I gave somebody money, or it never was because
Somebody
he
did
did
something
something
that-
or I did something. We weren't mad at each other. We were mad at the
I'm still tripping
situation.
out twice a year.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
a lot of
like twice an hour.
You see, a lot of things
No, I'm
we
just
don't approach things.
Just once.
One of the things that we don't approach things in a manner of this is what's going to happen. I approach it. What do you think? She'll give me her take on it, and if I decide to go through with whatever it is, we don't fight about it. She just said, "Well, I told you my part. You gonna push forward? Yeah. Then cool. I got you. Whatever happens, we'll clean it up."
Yeah, you know how I felt, however.
Yeah. And if now if it falls apart,
Right, you gonna
she
hear
gonna
about
be
it.
right there, you know. But at the end of the, sometimes I'll run it by her and she'll be like, "No, I don't think you should." I'm like, I don't think I should either. And it just goes that way.
So let me ask you this. So when decisions come up that need to be made, when a power couple is faced with a decision, is there a man of the house situation, or is it a collective thing, or is it who's in the best frame of mind at the time?
I'll
Is
tell you
falling
this.
apart? Dwight's kind of more clear-headed. Is he the one that's kind of going to take the lead on this in this moment?
I'll tell you this. She usually depends on how crucial the situation is. 9 times out of 10, believe it or not, I'm following her lead. I make decisions different than she does. My decisions are A to B.
Right.
I don't care about what's happening in between. I don't care about the outcome. You're asking me this. In my mind, I work it out, and I say, if we do this, this is going to happen. No. She thinks of the implications. She thinks of
Yeah, she
possibilities.
thinking of all the other stuff.
I've already had it failing,
Right.
succeeding, the arguments. I have full conversations in the shower.
But you gotta know,
Whoa.
you gotta know
Debate.
your strengths and your weaknesses. And I know that that's one of my weaknesses. Sometimes I'll be ready to say no about something that could be beneficial for us.
Now, you just touched on something. So, one of the keys to being a power couple is knowing your strengths and weaknesses
And they,
of each other,
Right.
and being
and
aware
your
of
own.
yourself.
Yeah, you gotta master your own before us to even get along. I know when I gotta fall back. I know when I gotta push forward. And if I'm pushing on something and she's still kind of not agreeing, if I think about it long enough, you know what? Okay, because then sometimes I'm looking for the I want my turn to be like, I told you you shouldn't do that. So sometimes I fall back just to let it play out. But 9 times out of 10, she was right. But like I said, our decision making process is different. I
And
like
that's what works for you guys.
right. And I trust her judgment.
Mm.
I mean, I've known her since we were kids.
Yeah,
So I
over
trust
half
her
your life.
judgment. It doesn't matter what the situation is, what we're trying to decide, what it's impacting. It could be life or death. If we run through it and I'm looking at the situation as a whole and she's making more sense, we ride with that.
Man, it's interesting that you said life and death. Because I had the honor of being a pallbearer for Izzy. And that's got, I've seen some families fall apart when there's a death of a child. But that just ain't right. I don't care how you spin it, look at it. Nobody gets to see their child go first. And I got to know Izzy. His brothers, as always. And I witnessed you guys go through that. I didn't see the initial, but I saw it again. And I feel like y'all got even closer after that. I feel like y'all bond just tightened up even more. Like it wasn't, it went from what was it, the pump patch.
Yeah.
And in those milestones in your life that really bind y'all together, these moments that y'all have to go through. I was saying that in the last podcast. You gotta go through things with each other to see how y'all gonna fall off on the other
Muscle up
side.
or not. Yeah.
So to witness you guys go through that's gotta be hard.
Yeah.
And that to me, when you say power couple, I think that really says it in the highest form, being able to survive that.
It was definitely a defining moment. What we went through it was just the whole situation is just so egregious. It was like just truth being stranger than fiction. Like you couldn't have made up what happened to us, the circumstances, going through the coulda, woulda, shouldas, and all those things, and him being in the military at the time, and adding that component, and having other children, and just trying to figure out how life goes from here, and how to give a sick child a good life. He was healthy. He was born healthy, and due to medical malpractice, his life was cut short at about 1 minute after he was born, and he was dead for 42 minutes. And once they realized the mistake that he made,
I didn't know that part. Alright, so we gotta back up. Some people might not know this story. And I know we don't have to jump deep into it. And it's really no long story short. It's short story long.
Yeah.
But you guys had a perfectly healthy baby. And correct me if I'm wrong, the nurse administered the wrong,
doctor.
the doctor administered the wrong,
She was supposed to give him oxygen, and she gave him carbon dioxide
and they didn't recognize it for a minute.
for
42
42 minutes.
For 42
But
minutes.
it's happened at 1 minute of birth.
At 1 minute. So just
as soon as they took him out and they lay him on their bed, the warmer,
Yeah.
they're supposed to be blowing oxygen into that because it helps their body oxygenate. Well, the tubing was hooked to a carbon dioxide tank, and of course it makes you.
But
it would make
that
you
it's the
normal?
opposite.
To have
No.
a carbon monoxide tank?
This is what happened. The operating room we were in, because he was born by cesarean. The operating room we were in, they put us in the wrong room. That room was meant for laparoscopic surgery, and they use carbon dioxide to extend the belly so that they can work. So the oxygen tank was in the other room, and they just didn't realize it was switched. So when she saw him choking because of the carbon,
She thought
it
something
was something wrong with him, and she put the mask on him, and they started doing CPR and things like that. So they worked on it for a good 42 minutes or so, and they finally said, "Hey, let's switch the tank out. It's been a while.
It's going to be
Something's
empty.
gonna happen,
In
switch
their
the
head,
tank
they
out."
thought the
And when they went to
oxygen
switch the
tank was
tank-
empty.
Right.
And so when they went to switch what they thought was an empty oxygen tank, that's when they realized, oh my God, we did this. This was carbon dioxide. We killed him. So they bought the O2 tank in, and they were able to get a heartbeat. But at that point, he was in what they consider a persistent vegetative state. So he could never maintain his temperature. He was cortically blind. He was never able to cry, yawn, sneeze, blink, swallow, breathe on his own, or any of those things. And so, they said, we give him 2 days. Then they said we give him 2 weeks, and we give him 2 months to live. And Izzy lived to be just shy of his 7th birthday. And it really brought us. So we found our strengths, and I knew that I was the money person. I knew that I was the person that dealt with the doctors, but he was the equipment person. He was the trach person. It's just so funny how God already knew everything before we even met, and how he had already walked out our paths. So when I look back, he was already a paramedic because God knew he was going to need that. I was already in the medical field and was already a funeral director because he knew that those strengths were going to be called upon. So he had already walked out our path. He knew, I don't know why he thought we were strong enough. Definitely going through it, we didn't think we were strong enough. But in hindsight, some of the things that happened initially, we didn't think we were going to make it. Like when something like that happens to your child, we had made a pact on how we were going to literally take the doctor's life. And I say that on camera. When something like that happens, you just can't. And who was going to take care of the children while we were in prison? That's how sick you feel when something like that happens. And I don't know, some kind of way we made it through it. And our biggest, I think, to be honest with you, it was the fact that Izzy survived, and we knew that he needed us, and we couldn't leave him. Who was going to take care of him? He actually gave us the reason to keep going.
I was about to say that. You think he stuck around to make sure that this didn't fall apart?
Yeah. And he stayed around. I even felt like even in his passing, he was like, y'all got it now. Y'all got this, I got mine. Whatever y'all didn't get, whatever you didn't learn, I gotta go, I'm tired. And during that whole 7 years, all of the things that they said, he would be in a hospital, and he would have, he never had any of those things because as a team, we was bad, man. For a child that can't move.
I seen y'all firing nurses left and right.
We fired nurses, we went through nurses, we
wanted it to be.
We wanted,
right.
We wanted everything to be right, and we did that, and when Izzy let us know that he was ready to go, he was really ready to go, and he left us with so many lessons, and he really shaped and molded who we are. But it also, I feel like we were already good people, but it really changed. I think we don't sweat the small stuff that would have freaked me out or pissed me off before. When you go through something like that, literally nothing else matters.
Right.
And Ian, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but when
correct.
Ian wrecked the Bentley,
Oh,
the
yes.
first thing was like, are you okay? Even afterwards, when something like that happens, there is nothing else in your life, knock on wood, God willing, that will ever trump that.
Right.
So everything else is small. Everything else is small. Nothing else matters. So that's probably why we can't fight, because it's like, are we going to,
Yeah,
what is it?
what's worse than
Like,
that?
really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
What's worse than that?
Yeah.
Wow, that was heavy, man. We got to bring some levity to the show. That we could do a whole podcast on Izzy.
Yeah,
And how
yeah.
many people he's touched. Just all the things that have been born out of this
Yes.
situation, from businesses, to all the people you've touched. Near and far, and I know, and all the people that have taken advantage, I know. We ain't gonna get in that meat.
You know what? But you know what? It's funny that you bring that up when you talk about strengths and weaknesses. My husband and our oldest son Ian, they're very protective of me because they know what my weakness is. So even down to employees, they know if an employee says, I can't make my car payment, they know that
Yeah,
my
you can't
weakness
find out
is
about that.
if you tell me this young man standing right here in this red hat, if he say I
already know.
you know what I mean? And there's been a lot of people I've done stuff
She
for.
jumped in front of the thing for me.
Yeah.
And I see things.
Yeah, because he already knows.
Dodge a bullet.
No, nah.
But like I'll do anything for anybody, and I mean, it's been people that have been cool with it, and there's some people that have taken within reason. He's within reason.
I'm waiting. I ain't
Well,
asked yet.
I mean,
I'm waiting for the big boy.
and I think one of the things that's an interesting dynamic and that I've always found interesting. I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
I am an introvert. I love you like my brother, but I probably speak to you and my real brother about this. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean any harm by it.
No, I know you.
You know what I mean? I'm not a phone person. I'm not a go out, hang out person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why it's as big you been here.
Yeah,
It really is.
It's a lot.
It
Like,
really
y'all don't
is. That's,
understand.
Yeah.
She's the complete opposite.
Right.
So she's the balance. You know what I mean? So I'm by nature an introvert, which in my family growing up is what made me so protective. And with Izzy's situation happening, I think what drew us closer is when I was younger, that's all he was taught, that I don't care how y'all fight. Family.
Right.
You know what I mean? No matter what happens. That's
So you
still
think
your
that's what's
sister, that's
missing
still
from
your
now,
aunt.
from then and now?
I think there's an element of it's all about me now.
Do you think there's a high dependency on happiness? Because I can remember my grandparents growing up, and I don't ever remember them being like super duper happy like
think
that,
there's
or my parents.
There's
And I
an
think now
overdependence
it's
on
like
expectation.
you have to make me happy. Is it? Do you think is it her job to make you happy?
No.
Is it his job to make you happy? I agree. Is
For
it your
us, it
job
just
to make you happy? Is it, okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Because
And
if
together-
you're a miserable
the
The
person,
dynamic of
yeah.
that is, for me, she makes me happy.
Exactly. Okay.
So, you know what I'm
that's
saying?
tough because a lot of people feel like if, like, all my happiness is dependent on you, and then if you fail or whatever, then I'm just all to pieces. And I think that comes from a place of insecurity, not loving yourself. And I think you have to love yourself in order to even be able to love somebody.
Right.
Because insecurities is something. I mean, everybody's, half naked. If you're insecure about what you got, you'll never be happy. You'll always be focusing on what other people have, what other people look like, what other people, and
What you don't have.
and what you don't have. And stop believing the hype, y'all. Like, everything y'all see isn't real. Everything you see isn't
Such
always.
as, for example.
Just for example, you could look at me. You could, if you didn't know my situation, you'd be like, oh, okay, she got this, or she lives here, or she drives this. But you don't know my heart is broke.
Right.
You don't know I lost my child.
Right.
So
You just never know.
you don't know what people are going through, and you can't base it on. Some of the happiest people I know are some of the just basic poorest, and I don't mean poor, but I mean like
Very humble being.
just and they like it like that, and it makes them happy. but they don't have all the other stuff going on. So we gotta stop judging what is happiness by. When I knew him, we didn't have money. We used to come outside for work and be like, where do you park the car? Oh, I thought I parked it right here. It was repossessed, gone. Like, so we came up, we know what it's like not to have water. We know, right, but I'm not hearing the beat.
They did that one more in front of the house, man.
Yeah.
I was going out to go to work.
This is
Man,
back in
hold up,
Philly.
man.
So I think that's important too. When you grow with somebody and you don't have anything together and you develop it together, then it's not like, well, I had this or you had that. You know what I mean?
think
Everything
that's
we
what
have
was
is
blessed.
together.
We was blessed and fortunate to be able to actually develop.
Warner, it's just like I'm thinking about you the minute I woke up. Like, you know what I mean? I love that.
As you probably farted.
Yeah,
Let's play a little game, man. We're gonna do a little game. And I gotta bring my co-host. Hey, shout out to everybody in Facebook world. Make sure y'all tune in. If y'all just not tuning in, listen to Detail Did It podcast. And we are broadcasting live from South Carolina. I got a special guest here with me, Nice Slave White. And we're talking about power couples, man. What it takes to be a power couple, or at least what it took for them to become the power couple at the end. And it's not what you think it is. It's some real in-depth shit going on. And it's all spiritual, and I think it's all from the soul. Yeah, that's me. But anyway, we want to play a little game, and I'm going to actually let you come sit in right here. Don't do that. Come take my seat.
Don't give me all
No,
that
no,
power.
you stay. We clapping and all that right now. You know what I'm saying? Bring it on, Anthony. So ready.
What happened?
Okay, no.
Here we go.
Come on.
Oh, can you turn the speaker on and turn it off?
Come on, Ann. Come on up in here. Man.
What happened?
Okay.
Come this way. Come this way.
Y'all heard it.
Oh, yeah, man.
You're too kind.
Right.
You're too
Relax.
kind.
It's small
You're
relax.
too
We're
kind.
gonna play a little game, man. It's a cause and effect game. So
Can anybody hear me?
yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
I
man.
can't hear me.
Try the other side. You good? Come on, man. Don't put me on
Okay,
blast.
What's up, everybody? Everybody doing okay?
Yes, sir.
Good. Hey, so
How are you?
I'm good. I was a little late. I'm sorry for being
Yeah, but
late.
you brought the crown though, right?
I did bring the
You're not the
crown,
man
so-
that's late. You're the
but
man
most
that brought the
important-
crown.
I brought my girlfriend with me.
Oh, wow. Oh, this is the first.
Everybody say hi to Sabrina.
That is
Hi,
so
Sabrina.
Hey, we're here
Nice to
talking
meet
about power couples.
I've known
tonight.
Sabrina.
Yeah, I have some
I've
questions.
known Sabrina for about
for you
8
guys.
years.
You
We
got
on
some
Facebook,
questions?
And we fight more than 2 times a year. But yeah, she's like, I'm the same way. I try to make her coffee every morning. And try to play that little role for her.
It's the little things.
Hey. All right. So yeah, I just want to say I'm sorry for being late,
Hey,
and
Julian.
I did bring a good conversation piece, and I did bring Crown too.
Yes.
What happened?
All right.
Come on, man. Let's get this game
All right. So
going,
yeah,
man.
let's move it along. Okay. So we seem to get caught up in the negative, and which some say is a good thing. But when it comes to true happiness relationships, so we've come up with a game to focus on the reasons of why and how we can overcome the negatives and make them understood positives. And this game's called Monkey See, Monkey Do. I didn't make the name up.
Okay.
They just told me about it and we're gonna play it. Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
I've seen you on here. I know monkeys. You wouldn't have chose that.
sure. All right, so I'm gonna name a cause and an effect, and you describe what caused that effect or what could be the effect of the presented cause, and then in return create a solution. All right, so the first one, you guys can chime in. It doesn't matter who. The cause would be so like we talked about this earlier, so I'm sure y'all will be able to tackle this. Social media heavily influences the relationship. That would be the cause. Could y'all name an effect or a solution? An effect and then a solution, whether it be positive or negative.
Well, the effect is definitely worrying about your spouse's significant other getting DMs or having side relationships, but again, it just it goes back to the solution. I don't know. I just don't worry. I'm not worried about it. Don't nobody want you but me. Like I mean,
Do you feel the same way? Do you just not worry about it, or or is it something you go, hey, what's going on over there? Like, what are you doing on?
I mean,
He does. He
it's a
does
little-
say,
yeah,
"Babe, who
always-
texting us?"
But I don't worry about
Babe,
it
who
from
texting us?
the aspect of not on her side.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's more of a protective thing. Like, okay, and then
You
DMs
doing what husbands do,
inappropriate.
right?
You know what I mean?
I see.
And I hate to be like that because I see it happen a lot, and it does feel a little weird. Actually, you're not my kid, but at the same time,
Man, who on the
you
DM?
know, yeah. And I don't actually see it. I just look at it when she ain't got it. But, you know, but now I ask her sometimes. You don't get no inappropriate DMs.
I don't know
and all
why
that,
he
do
would. It confuses me when he says, "I'm like, I'm 44. Who would be DMing me?" Like
You
in
know,
my
see,
head, like
Women different.
44.
You're
Like
looking
who
at
would be?
age these days.
Yeah, you fine.
You don't look 44.
That ain't
Yeah,
stopping
give it
none
up
of
for
them.
44. man. 44. Black don't crack. Keep it
Talking
going.
about, I don't know nobody want.
All right,
credit.
so like,
All right, keep
say
going.
if there was a rift on social media between you guys and the trust or the bond was broken, the pact, like you said earlier, that was broken. Could y'all name? I'm sure y'all can name many causes, but what would be a solution to reaffirm or restructure the trust?
Or can it be?
Delete.
Can it be
Delete.
It can be. Deleting, yeah, that would be one thing. Making a conscious decision to, try to control the social media thing would be a thing, but that's something that you and her would have to work on. Like, you gotta work on yourself. You can't fix that type of problem.
Yeah, but you
As a
sneaky,
team.
you just gonna be sneaky.
Right.
Yeah,
You can't fix
like-
that as a team. You can't sit down
It
and
has
come up
to
with a
be done.
solution. You gotta work on
Can I chime in on
you.
that?
Yeah.
Because I just feel like also it's like when you're in a real relationship, the last thing you want to be doing is checking your person's phone.
Yeah, I can't
Like
live
if
that.
you have to live like
that.
wondering what might be going on, then you might not even need to be in that
Yeah.
situation to begin with. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Oh, it said it was interrupted. You're good.
All right, so let's say there was a divorce, hypothetical, a divorce, and you guys, want to, restructure or, again, rebuild. Are there ways to keep a divorce from happening? Can you get the ball rolling for a divorce, get the papers rolling, and still go, okay,
Come back.
stop.
Try to reconcile.
Let's make this work.
No, I couldn't even imagine getting that far.
Yeah.
You guys, from what y'all were describing in the first segment, it doesn't seem like it would ever get to that
But
point for you guys.
you guys being together for 30 years, you've seen a lot of divorces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see a
We've
lot
seen
of
a lot
them?
of
Did you see a lot of them that were ever repairable or things that could have?
No, because I feel like by the time it got to divorce, almost half of it had already been over anyway. You know what I mean? The divorce was like came so far it was so dead. The emotional attachment was just gone. Like
Right.
it wasn't even
Divorce is
a
the
Do you think
love.
people wait too long to get a divorce?
I
Like,
think so.
you know, like,
I think
how do
they
people
sometimes
know?
people. Well, I think it's good to try, and if it doesn't work out, like definitely give it a shot. But when it's just not. Like, what baffles me when I see people when people have a child with someone, okay, and then on social media. The person is the most horrible, but you laid with them,
Right.
So they were good at one point,
That's
like
what I don't
something.
understand, too.
And usually you have multiple kids with that person. So what happened in between that? You know what I mean? Like there's
Y'all together
no
for 8
way.
years, and now you talking cash shit about this person on
crazy,
social media.
off the wall stuff. That blows my mind right there. But
Especially when they get back together the next 2 weeks, and now they Facebook is together. You know what I'm saying?
But look, why do we
What's
take
up?
social media so serious?
Because it's anything now.
I know, but isn't that a lot of people just? I mean, everybody's happy on social media, or everybody's upset on social media. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you're real. I'm very real on social media.
I just try to be.
But why? So why do
I
they
think
take that as
For
legit?
this generation, like we were talking about our kids, so Kosi, and then I have a grandson who's 2. They don't know what it's like not to have it.
Yeah.
They were born into it. So for them, it's actually a part of, you know what I'm saying? Where we had personal connection. We didn't have all that. So you had no choice but to
and you had to be real. Like I couldn't
Yeah,
fake. I couldn't send you a picture from here up because we was gonna meet at the green box outside, or you know when if I told you I was gonna meet you at 7 o'clock, there was no way for me to even call you to tell you I was gonna be late. There was no phone. There was no. So it was a completely different.
Yeah, it was a level of trust. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
all right, I'm walking way over here. I hope you there. Oh shit.
We couldn't call each other. Like it was what it was. Like there was nobody. You didn't know if your mom was on your way. I didn't know if it was time for me to sneak them out the house. That my mom. I just had to trust that she was at work and. It was just a different, but we really got to know each other. We really got to know each other.
Did y'all get into that part of the sneaking in and everything on the
No,
show?
Not yet. Cause and effect. What's up, Ed? Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it moving.
Alright, so
Go ahead, go
for
ahead.
the
For me,
people-
though,
for the people
technology
on
I'm sorry.
Facebook watching.
Technology has replaced
Intimate,
personal
relationship.
touch, that personal touch. And they don't, you know, coming up, these kids, they don't know no better. Because like I said, it was there when they were born. They grew up on it.
You think social
So-
media has killed intimacy?
I think it's killed intimacy, and I'm not judging or saying that. I don't want to sound like the old fart. Technology is the devil. But
It's a
I
gift and a
think it's
curse.
replaced a lot of. That's why it's social media. It's replaced the actual social.
Right.
You know what I mean? The attraction is that when we were growing up, you got to know everybody in the neighborhood. With this, you get to know everybody around the world.
Right.
You know what I
think
mean?
you know
Or
that.
think, right. And then that's another part. You can present whatever you want on social media, and there's no repercussions. So I think just technology in and of itself is not. I don't think it's being mishandled, but
So what
it's replaced
Oh, no,
what we had.
I know, right?
Yeah, you totally smashed one of my questions. I mean, I'm obliterated. Hopefully, I can flip it on the way through. Okay, so
Let's go to the next one.
so all right, so you know, y'all been together 30 years. When a relationship changes, like, are there many? Do y'all have causes for that, or is it, you know, like, and are there solutions towards the old issue, like when you outlasted or outgrown somebody? Can you regrow?
How do you not outgrow somebody but
Yeah.
keep growing?
I couldn't tell you. I'll be honest with you. I couldn't tell you.
So you're saying? So you're
Woo,
saying
hold up. I don't
so
think
you're
y'all
saying the
felt
whole
that
movie is
question I
put
just
together.
asked.
Mhm.
How do you keep growing without outgrowing your partner?
That wasn't even a question. I just had to flip it because you murdered it.
Keep
I think.
growing
Well, I
without
think
outgrowing the partner.
because again, it wasn't separate growth.
Mhm.
We experienced everything together.
Mm.
So
Willingly.
we grew
So
together.
your growth is your growth.
Yeah.
But
It-
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
different interests.
She's always been more mature. So even in growth, if she was ahead of me, she never left me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. It was never a
So let me
situation
show
where
you. Let me take
I'm
you. Let me
here
teach you
and
something.
you still doing this. It was a thing of such an appreciation where it was like, okay, I am here right now. You might not be right there. I got you.
Right.
Until I'm not going
But
back
again,
for
that
you,
goes
but I got
back
you till you come.
to the strengths and weaknesses.
Right.
Like, all right,
And that
we
takes
know,
time, though. That's
We
just
know you got
something-
the books. You know what I mean? You know I can carry the books.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. Like, and that's with the balance. And I was
Right.
also one of the things I was wanting to bring up is that's part of a power couple is being able to balance.
Yeah.
And there's so many things y'all have to juggle.
But we made so many decisions when we were young, and I can't tell you why. I really can't tell you, but we made those decisions early on. We making a pact. We literally made a pact. Everything we ever go through, we go through together. And when you come to that understanding, you go into the situation knowing that that's how it's going to be, then that's how it's going to be.
And I think
you know?
one of the
You know what I
biggest
mean?
things too in marriage is one of the number one things that makes or break a marriage is finances. And we had already decided that either we broke or we got money. It's not you got this and I don't get paid. So either we got it or we ain't got it.
Right.
And it's just that's always been
Those
so.
are just decisions we
But
made
that, yeah,
early.
we figured that out early, and if you move as a unit, and anybody that knows us, like detail, you've known us for a long time. it is very rare that you see one of us and not all of us.
That's true.
We move as a unit. Like, just the only reason my other two aren't here is because one's been at work all day and Siani is working tonight. She's a
No,
nurse.
y'all like
But otherwise, like, there's very rare that it's not all of us in a pack, and we do everything together. We don't come past Lock and Terror. So, like, people, where is this? Is it past Lock and Terror? If don't ask me, but past Lock and Terror.
I already
just-
know.
it is
Special
what it
occasions
is.
only.
Yeah. So I mean,
And that's
we
more
have
me.
fun.
That's more me than her. I'm just,
I know.
So to me, like, my family is that's it. I like it. I love everybody. But if a meteor hit this joint today and killed everybody with us, I'll be all right. You know what I mean? I would never be lonely again.
It's like a lot of y'all, so.
Yeah, we a gang. We a
Right.
gang.
It's a lot of y'all, man.
All right,
I'm
so,
glad I'm part of that game.
Last question. Well, it might have it's probably a double question. So, can you give us a clear description between the difference between sex and intimacy?
Oh wow. Okay. My kids
Come on,
can cover their ears.
Earmuffs.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that was coming. I'm sorry.
For me, and I don't know if it's just something again with
This
me.
nigga face though.
Or-
Can I zoom in on this one?
Yeah, we could say, or being a female.
Wait,
But I could not, like, I know it's common now to meet somebody and have relations that night, or you know what I mean, and not really. But for me, like, it's got to be like some serious, like, it has to be a connect. Like, I could not just like, oh, it just it makes me like sick, like, just even. Like, doesn't it, like, skin and fluids and, like, don't you want to know if he washes hands and these dudes with these dirty, like,
Maybe, but see, that may not be.
oh my God.
That
it
may
just
not be the
made
thing
me-
these days. So y'all come from the old school, you know.
Jesus. Woo! And them salts, you taking on that person's, that's a body. That's like you carrying that, like you murdered something. Like you got to carry that with you and. Ooh, I'm sorry. And maybe, like, again, it could be an old thing, but I know females don't get erections, but, like, I couldn't even get.
Get there. Okay, we got you.
Yeah. I don't even know you.
that one went way crazy.
I'm sorry, but it's like gross. Okay.
All right, so again,
What about you? What about you?
what's the difference? Like,
Do you need
the difference between intimacy and sex, and which one is a higher priority than the other?
Obviously, the intimacy.
Well,
He's a
I would-
guy.
I would
It's
think so.
different
It's
answer.
true.
But I would think
It was
I was thinking about her when I said it.
both
too.
of them meet in
Yeah.
you know.
That's what I said.
I think it also goes
the
back to
attachment is like, again, it's you. It's
love language.
what are you looking for?
Right.
Now, the twist of it is being together so long, being so young. We need both. There are times
Yeah, it's
that
sometimes I'm like,
Right.
you want that connection, and then there's times it's like everybody gone. We got a minute.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we
That-
got a minute.
Cause it's
Facts.
and
It's
again,
real
when
married
you
shit,
have a
though.
lot of kids, it is not like
Right.
like
You gotta be
Is he
quiet.
always
I ain't gonna front. You know, the kids is gone for a week.
Yeah.
It was different. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
when the kids is gone, you don't realize you got the whole house.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're like, man, I didn't
Takes
even
a second to
realize what couch sex is like.
And I'm gonna tell you something. My kids don't care. 2:00 in the morning, he busts in the room. Can I get your charger? Like it's you know. You don't care. I'm telling them, one day you're gonna walk in here, and your life is gonna be scarred forever. I said you're
My
gonna see your
kids are the
daddy in
same
here
way.
crying.
One time.
This is good stuff.
Let it go.
This is good stuff.
what I'm
Y'all
saying.
good
Okay,
stuff.
so do y'all also feel like can it be one without the other, or does it have to be both?
You just answered that. It could be
Yeah,
one
it
without
could
the other
be-
or
yeah.
both.
But
It
you know
depends
what I
on
mean,
the day.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, can it be strictly one way, and then maybe one moment out of the year it's the other way,
I know.
or is it really or is it really a balance between the two?
I think it's a need
The
in the moment.
relationship defines that type of.
Because with us, the intimacy is always there. It's always being, we're always thinking about the other person and it, and
I mean,
I'm just driving the truck.
Yeah, I can go ham on this shit. I go ham on this shit. I'm gonna shut up.
I'm just trying to get there.
Let's go all me real quick.
I'm just saying. No, I think I guess it could be both. Or can it strictly be one and not the other?
You think people can have more intimate moments and have less sex?
oh yeah.
Do you think people can have more sex and less intimate moments, and then have a bond like you guys?
Yeah.
I think it's more intimate moments because those are the things.
We-
Those are
yeah.
the things that are going to carry you through when things are good and things are bad. It gives you something to call on. It gives you, you know what I mean? Like if for some reason, okay, he was in the military. And he go to Afghanistan. It's the intimate moments. It's the you bought me coffee. It's the remember when you looked in my eyes and you said blah 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 blah. You know, it's not always going to be. Remember when you smacked me? You know, it's not those. I don't recall those moments.
Right.
Yeah.
I see. I understand.
So you can get sex anywhere. What you're saying, you
Yeah.
can't get intimacy.
Right.
And I think intimacy is most important because I deal with you from within, where everything matters. And sex is a physical thing.
Right.
Because there's
Because you
couples
can have
that.
an intimate moment and not have sex.
Correct.
You know what
Exactly.
I mean?
And I think
but
that's
to have
key.
sex, you gotta have sex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So-
But you can do one without the other. I mean, I'll be speaking from married couple to married couple. There's times where like, hell, I just need it real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? You know what I mean? And it's or she might be half asleep. I don't know. You good? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like yo,
We don't do that.
you know. I'm talking about me, cuz I'm talking about me. You know what I'm saying, nephew? I'm just talking about Uncle Dad. But I'm just saying. But then it's also respect, though. It's like she'll be like, all right, cool, like hurry up. I gotta go. I gotta leave in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. And sometimes I might prefer that. I ain't have to get intimate. You know what I'm saying? So,
But that happens because of those intimate
because of the
moments as well.
intimacy, yeah. Because that intimacy allows her to understand me in that moment.
Right. And it doesn't come off as aggressive or intrusive.
Or like,
it's
damn,
like, I know we got,
right.
you know what I mean?
No, I just like, hey, I need to focus today. So
Yeah.
Can
But I do
can
need
I
a
love
little
this?
something, so
You know what I mean?
you know.
Trying to be light on my feet.
Sometimes
So let me ask you this. Damn, the kids here. Master State PlayStation? Rhymes with Matt. You know what I'm saying? Got that? So, the master of the PlayStation do you care if one takes care of themselves?
Well,
Is that a big deal?
Sometimes Fortnite
Is
can be
it-
single player or it can be a team.
Okay. No, I'm just saying because somebody just told him what it meant. Damn, man. I'm trying to change lives. There's somebody out there right now whose wife is mad because the husband is doing his thing in the
But he
bathroom.
could be doing
But I'm
This is
saying,
my
does
thing.
that
If
save
I'm
him from?
44 now.
Okay, let's
When
go.
I was 24, if I rolled over in the middle of the night and something happened, I'm jumping in.
Right. Okay.
And now,
But it was okay that it was happening.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because,
Okay.
I mean, that's just that's open gate for me.
Right. No doubt.
Now,
It's ready.
tired at
She
3-4
took care
o'clock
of
in the
intimacy
morning, so I
herself.
might turn over and see something happen. Just don't move too much. Trying to sleep over there.
You alright? You need a towel. You get up now.
Nobody
Man,
know you
at
like
night.
you.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
Wake me when you
Right.
Speaking of cause and effect.
Talk to me.
So, do y'all go out a lot?
No,
Like, do y'all get a date night?
no.
No.
We try.
ever?
Every once in a blue moon.
There's
So,
date night is the whole
so
family.
time span
Yeah.
of the blue moon, is that every month? Is that every 6 months?
Maybe twice a year.
Twice a
Two
year y'all go
times
out?
a year.
I don't think people can understand them. We got people whose marriage don't last 3 years,
Yeah.
and how can you comprehend 30 years?
And
Like,
see-
y'all are like
No,
grandparents shit.
right. But let me tell you. So we'll make plans. We'll say we're
Yeah,
gonna
we
go.
make plans.
We make plans. We're gonna have a date night. We're gonna go to Wild Fish. We're gonna go to Perry's, whatever. And then I see Ian sitting there or Siani sitting there, and it's like, as much as I love him and want to spend that time, we just enjoy our family. So we don't feel a need to get away to, you know what I mean? I couldn't imagine going to Dubai or going out to dinner or any of those things without my kids. Like that just makes, like, cause you know Ian is gonna say some wild raw, you know what I mean? So you know you're gonna
Yeah.
be laughing, you know he's gonna know the waiter.
So you're gonna wish he was there anyway.
Yeah,
Golly.
or the 1 or 2 times that we have gone out, we end up talking about them. Oh my God, did you see that shit Bub did? Or, you
Let
know,
me tell you something. You know how many times we've been out to a restaurant, just the two of us, and before it's over, sometimes before the food even gets there, we got them pulling 2 or 3 more tables together.
because we like, come on, y'all.
Ian runs up on us.
It does not
Yanni
care.
Bubba will run up on us, and
Mhm.
for us, I don't mind. I don't care.
So what would you guys say is like one of the most core values one can have, one can possess as a couple to sustain the test of time like you guys have been doing? And I actually like interviewing from behind the camera. This is kind of dope.
You gotta
Not
be
real.
friends. Because if you're friends, then that'll take you through everything. And you just gotta trust each other.
Friendship first.
Friendship
Understand.
Respect, I think, is a big
Respect
factor.
is big.
first. But that kind of, for me, that kind of just comes with friendship. Like if you,
It has to
if
be
you're my
something in you,
friend,
too.
yeah.
It kind of has to be something like.
We trying to chime in. This is your time now,
If I know,
dude. Get him.
if there's a situation that she's having,
Right.
I can't look at that situation as it's her thing.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But it's something. I guess not everybody's going to feel that way. So if there's something she's doing or something that's happening and she's trying to figure, I look at that situation now like I want to help you
Right.
make it better. You know what I mean? Because I want you
Gee,
to have.
man, I'm sorry. You just making me think. Just listening to you, I'm thinking as you're talking, and I listen to you saying how you listen to her spirit. So, and I think a lot of guys, they don't understand. They don't understand because I'm used to headphones. They don't understand like sometimes when our wife is upset, maybe say y'all want to go out somewhere and you're complaining about can't find the right shoes, right? But some guys don't understand that the shit ain't even about the shoes.
Right.
And I feel like what you're saying is you know how to tap into it ain't even about the
Yeah.
shoes. She need a hug. She
It's
need-
something else.
It's something deeper.
Right.
And I think guys being alpha male, like you were saying earlier, we go from A to Z. You know, a man just wants to fix it. Like you tell me a problem, we just like, all right, all you gotta do is this.
Right.
And for a female or a woman or somebody with the feminine spirit, it's not that simple.
Right.
It's a little bit more complex. And it's
It
gonna
could be
might
a
take
couple of different things.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it's important, and I think that's one of the qualities that a power couple possesses is having the ability to recognize those things and when to kind of fall back.
And also having the want to help.
Sorry, guys.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh,
There's plenty
wanting
of
to
times
help.
that there has to be within you a want to help.
So selflessness.
You know, yeah, exactly, and it's automatic. It's
Right.
it's deeper than what's wrong.
It's not secondary. It's not like,
Right.
oh, I gotta help this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
it's
something
the
that's like,
first
oh,
instinct.
hold on, what's going on? And it's been plenty of times. What's wrong? Nothing.
I love
Okay, so what happens? Just school us.
Listen.
OG, what happens when you ask your girl what's wrong and she says nothing? Because nothing, in my experience, means a whole bunch of shit. A whole bunch of shit.
With me, if you say nothing's wrong,
It's time to stop everything.
nothing's wrong.
Okay.
I'm asking you, what's wrong? Nothing. Okay. I go back to watching TV.
Chalet.
Then you just keep, what you gotta do, ladies, is you gotta keep huffing and puffing and making it real uncomfortable. You sure ain't nothing wrong?
The huff and puff game. Oh, I'm acquainted with that.
It's also triggers though, because she's a talker, and if she's quiet, that means she's thinking. So what's wrong? Nothing. All right. Get to watching TV, and you might wait 15, 20 minutes. You're like, you sure? You're kind of quiet. And there's another aspect to it too. And I don't nail it all the time.
We need all the jewels.
You gotta learn to listen to your woman too.
Okay.
Because what's bothering her, you may already know and not even realize. So sometimes if she's not telling me, she's not talking,
You should already know.
there's something in me that's like, okay, so what's going on?
Ain't back up.
Hey, how that thing working out with such?
No, that ain't it.
Whatever happened with
Nothing.
blah blah blah. And if she, it was got you. Okay, so what happened? You need me to do?
So you
anything?
schooling us, D. So for that, to keep that longevity going, it's important that you actually like be concerned about those needs and those little things, and take that time to like stop, put your phone down, turn the TV off, because you can't be in two places at once,
Right.
and give her that just those moments of undivided attention, and try to dissect what it is.
Right.
Just that effort in itself.
Without being pushy on it. Because
Okay.
it could be a frustrating situation. So if she's not telling you, then she's just not gonna tell you.
But when we tell you that nothing is wrong, we do want you
You
to
know
still
something
dig.
wrong.
We do still. You need to give us at least 4.
What's wrong?
Because if you give up too soon, now you're really in trouble.
So,
But see, that's why I say,
Jules.
you gotta give her a minute though. That's why I say you give her a minute. That minute is me saying what's wrong, you saying nothing, and me going back to what I was doing. Because now you're gonna think about next time I ask you might want to tell me if it's really bothering you.
So this is very key, because a lot of guys are listening right now, but like I do that, I say that, but again, it's
But
not
it's
it's not what you
It's
say,
an approach thing too.
it's how you say it, and you gotta know your woman's language. So how, when Shalay's in her moment, what is the exact voice pitch you say when you be like, "What's wrong?"
I get sexy with that.
You getting sexy with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You wanna
Can I please get like?
So you don't hear no like, "Man, what's
sexy
wrong with
voice?
you?"
Hey, a sample of this, man.
Because that's what I've done that. Being frustrated myself. Like, "Hey, what's wrong with you?" And that pushes me further away from where I was.
Natural reaction.
You know what I mean?
Say it the same
I'm good for saying that to
I'm probably
Mel.
saying it the same exact way.
Oh,
This
what's
is what
wrong?
he does. He
I'm saying
says,
it the same exact way.
"What's wrong, Mama?"
What does that do to you in that moment?
It makes me, even if he could give 2 craps about, because usually anything that I'm upset about is, but it's just like, okay, you care, and then the second time, nothing. You sure?
You want something to drink?
You
I'm
want
gonna
something to
give
drink?
you some water.
You
And then when I
sure?
come back up, give it a few minutes, like, kind of quiet over there. You sure nothing's bothering you? No. Alright, well, shit. Oh, my man said that thing. Yeah. You, babe, you're being way too quiet. You gotta tell me what's going on. By the time you beat it down a little bit, she may come up with something, or like I said, I may have hit it before I have to ask again.
You should have had this episode today. Episode 4.
Y'all want to dig.
Yeah. Okay. So my question.
Come on.
This is something that I do a lot. I say sorry a lot. I'm spite. You didn't do this. Yo, I'm sorry. You know? And I feel like Sabrina hates it when I say I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure she hates it.
Yeah.
How do you not apologize? How do you? For me, that's just my thing. Like,
Don't mess up.
I say sorry. Besides, maybe not messing up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you?
See, it's not.
How do you say sorry without saying sorry all the time?
This is just my opinion. It's not saying sorry for one particular thing. It's if you have to say sorry all the time, it means you're messing up a lot of something.
Right.
You know what I mean? I always say sorry for something.
Are you quick to say sorry?
Yeah,
No, he really is.
it depends on how right I am. Depends on how right I am. Nah,
No,
but
honestly though, he does.
for us, because for us, it's an
But it's always something stupid like,
alleviation thing.
yeah, like,
Like,
oh,
okay,
Mom, I'm
let's
sorry.
Let's get it.
I didn't mean to do that. I hope you didn't take that way, or But again, it's always. I mean, it could literally be something dumb like we unpacking the car and he left the eggs in it, and the next morning I realized that. Like, it's never anything big, but it's always, that's our word, my
But
bad.
you as a man, and I don't know, see, it's different. I mean, I'm only 40 something. I know I always say, well, I'm old school. We grew up this way. It's really, you know, not that much distance between us. But you won't, you, as a man, a man would offer up. And if I don't care if you like it or not. If I messed up, I'm saying I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it that one time. I'm not gonna keep going over the same thing. But okay, I did that. My bad. I'm sorry. And then we can move on. And I will say sorry for whatever. If I keep messing up, I'm gonna say sorry every time. But that's just, you know. And if that's something that you feel like she hates,
I think she hates it.
then that has to, now you two have to come to an understanding. If she tells you she hates it, then stop.
And just use my bad.
It's your natural inclination to do it.
Right, it's just
right?
natural.
It is.
Mhm.
But it's a
Sorry.
lot of things that are that come natural to you that you may have to adjust or sometimes sacrifice to make her happy. It just depends on how much you love her, how much you into her, how deep is your relationship. Because some people will just be like, well, this is what I do. You either gonna get used to it or get gone. Whereas though, I want you to be around, I love you to death. If this bothers you, then I'll work on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But those are just conversations you have to have.
Real quick, can you change somebody?
You shouldn't want to.
Exactly. Man, that's what I thought you were gonna
You
say.
shouldn't want
It should already be the way you want.
Yeah.
I'm saying that.
You gotta know going in. You know what I mean?
Alright. Well, shit, man, that's it's a battle joint, man. This has been a bomb show, man. This has been a bomb show. Where you at? Where you at? Here gets a real clap. So yeah,
My bad, it got a little soft.
hey, Liz, you wanna go ahead and
Yeah, I tried to say that to ask like where they go out. Like, when they
Yeah,
go
I love
out.
that. And then they
I
just
tried to say
you just said word and said, you know, you guys doing well, whatever. And Lizzie wants to. Lizzie has a
I have
question.
Okay.
You go with something?
cool locations for social intimacy. I'm gonna just read what I got right here and then go from there. Blue Star is a mixed-use property along the San Antonio River that captures the essence of Southtown in a super dope way, serving as the anchor of San Antonio art. Considered a Southtown destination purposefully curated with places for you to live, eat, and create. The character of the development is rich with cultural fabric of art in its many forms. The Blue Star has multiple restaurants to choose from, live music at night, and in addition to being located right on the river, it is aligned with beautiful trails for you and your date, enabling you to explore the Southtown San Antonio and its wonderful sights. One of my favorites is in the Blue Star. It's called 1919. It's a
1990 goes hard.
yeah, it's dope. It's a swanky speakeasy style spot where hipster bartenders mix classic cocktails and also serve charcuterie.
I was waiting for you to just say say that again?
Charcuterie.
Is that
So
Charcuterie.
it's really what you bought me today.
Yeah.
The cheeses.
Yeah,
and-
for the
That should have been the
small-
word of the day.
Yeah, charcuterie.
I'll never say that word again.
For real, when Lance put it in there, I was like, how do you say that last word? He's like, I don't know.
Oh man.
I was like, thank you.
What
It's
else
funny.
you got?
But no, yeah, that's it. I mean, that whole area is just
Yeah,
really
and it's
dope
like
to hang out.
right around the corner.
Yeah, walking
Cool.
distance. And tomorrow's first Friday too, so every first Friday of the month they have an event there, and you can walk around, drink your beer, wine, or whatever, and buy
To use that for our
jewelry.
twice-a-year date.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd
it's
be
every first
official
Friday
thing.
of the month.
That's
This
official.
what you mean? It's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes we'll go out, we'll park and just, or drive. We don't even go anywhere. We'll drive sometimes. And sometimes we'll just go to like a Lowe's parking lot and just park. Just chill out.
And eat Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, get some Chick-fil-A and just chill out. It sounds weird, I guess, but
I don't think it's anything weird about that at all.
yeah. Just little stuff like that.
Okay, PSA, South Crown is always looking for new talent to join the South Crown Barbershop team. For more information, go to southcrownbarbers.com and fill out an application or just come in and see us. And we are also selling tickets for the Laced Up Hair Down Extravaganza, and that is Sunday, August 12th at the Breathe Lounge.
Yeah, your boy will be there from 3 to 4. I'll be there for an hour.
Doing a beer class.
I do a beer class. I'll probably have Marty with me. We'll have products and all that good stuff to sell. If you guys are interested, you can purchase your tickets right here at Southtown for $25. And also, if you're just now tuning in or viewing from whichever platform it is, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you click
Share.
like. Make sure you share this truth. Don't just sit here and be like, oh, that's cool. Man, push this shit along. We all know somebody that can use this word. It's too easy. You're already thumb thugging anyway. Do something positive and share this message with somebody else out there.
I also want to give a shout out to our new neighbors,
Word.
J.J. Gardner Homes. They're having their grand opening
Tomorrow. So yeah, if y'all are in the area tomorrow,
First
swing
Friday.
through, get a haircut. They're gonna have their grand opening. They're gonna have food, drinks, art, all kinds of stuff going on over there. It's gonna be dope. So yeah, that's a wrap. But I'm gonna go ahead and close it out with my final thoughts. Y'all might as well just stay here. Y'all ain't got, we normally have a guest together. Yeah, just stay here. I'm gonna stand up. Right? So. Let me see, what is this? Final thoughts, so we can close up the show. I know everybody's tired, and again, I appreciate you guys for checking us out and tuning in. But in my opinion, the secret to a power couple is the ability to love one another from within and love oneself. The deepest human need is the need to feel appreciated. It's the need to feel appreciation. Power couples understand this need and they exercise it with great love language. Each person has a different love language, and words are very important. Communication is key. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Power couples lead with love and move as one. Power couples are quick to forgive and quick to always be mindful and respect one another. Balance is key to a power couple. Emotional stability and making the most of your moments together. Most importantly, power couples know their partners absolutely has their back, 100%, rain, sleet, or snow, ride or die. And thank y'all for tuning in, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Tune in next week. What we got going on next week?
Do you like sex?
I don't know yet.
We don't got that.
I don't know yet.
God bless. Peace. Hey, man, wonderful show. I thank y'all for tuning in. We had a great opportunity of learning a lot about what power coupling is all about. Thank you, Dwight, Shalay, y'all being part of the fam. As always, give us y'all, how can people contact y'all? What's your IGs and all that good stuff? And matter of fact, what's the company?
So Tohana Pediatric Home Health, and we provide PT, OT, and speech therapy as well as private duty nursing for children in South Texas from birth to 21 years of age. And we are always hiring LVNs, RNs, speech therapists, occupational therapists, as well as physical therapists. And our number is 210-451-8555. And social media, my IG is Izzy's Voice 14. And it's private, but if you request me and you don't look crazy, I'll follow you.
And she summed it up pretty good. For me, IG is Izzy_Yasin. I had a blast. Appreciate
That was
it.
good.
Hey, Lizzie, come on in here, man. Hey, make sure you follow me also as well on all platforms. Detailed Cuts, South Crown Barber. What else we got? The Detailed Did It podcast on IG and Twitter.
And I'm at Lizzie, LIZZIESHAW33 on Instagram, Snapchat, everything.
Oh, September 9th, though, at the AT&T Center, Spurs Sneaker Jam. I'm setting up a booth there. I'll be selling sneakers. I'll have vintage polo, vintage Tommy. I'm gonna have some stuff out there. Plenty of steals and deals. I'm partnering up with my man Chuck from Kicks Nation. And I have an artist named Banks from Houston who's coming down. He's gonna do a live portrait on the spot. He's also gonna bring some of his artwork to sell. So September 9th, AT&T
awesome.
Center, Spurs Sneaker Jam. Come check me out.
And also, 26th of August, we're going to have a back-to-school jam. Listen, we're going to have book bags, the whole nine. Ohana, these guys right here are going to be a part of the movement. They're going to have, disinfecting and cleaning stuff for the kids?
Yeah, we're gonna have hygiene.
Matter of fact, it's
kits.
gonna be a surprise.
Yeah, just come.
We got George Hill involved, so it's gonna be a big deal. August 26th, it's a Sunday, where Detail's gonna give back completely. All free cuts, free book bags, the whole nine. Stay tuned. Thank y'all for the support. God bless and peace.
Peace.
You're now tuned into the Detailed Did It podcast. Come catch a fade, girl.
God damn, boy, what's that? Some kind of weave or something?